All right, good evening, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. So we have another Sunday coaching series, mobile home investing, mobile home investors. This is where we come in together, we coach and we teach you, give you tips, nuggets, any way we can add value. That's what we're here tonight. So every Sunday evening, 8 p.m. EST time. I know we got a lot of Alabama people joining us here lately, and that they're Central Standard Time. So just make sure you separate EST time. But tonight is Q&A. Man, we have not had a Q&A in months now. And, we make so many videos, so many reels, so many updates. We're always trying to add value, like I mentioned. All the questions we come in, we do answer a lot of them through email. A lot of those my admins take care of. If it's something they cannot cover, then they send it to me directly. But let me see a couple people on here as well. So they send it to me directly and then I answer those. But if I see the same questions being repetitively asked, that's when we either create a reel, we go live stream on here like we're doing, or we do a coaching, we add it to. But once we get X amount of the same questions, like I mentioned, then at that point is when we create one of these Q&As. So we had not had one in a while, but let me go ahead and I want to get to the Q&A questions. So real quick before we go, though, before we get into the Q&A. So past Saturday, every Saturday morning we have it's typically more for a check-in. It's kind of like the update of coachings, updates, deals, investments, that sort of thing. Basically a recap of the week and then anything coming up available as well, we cover on there. That's Saturday morning at 10 a.m. That is typically only live in Instagram, however, and we're going to be doing TikTok as well. But if you have not checked it out, on this past Saturday, we had Mr. Ed O'Brigman, who is phenomenal. He is into RV camper sites and a destination. So he develops RV destination sites, which are kind of somewhat like camper sites and campgrounds, but a lot better, more luxurious, if you will. So definitely something to check out. Like I mentioned on Instagram, on here I have pinned the actual link to our YouTube where you can check that out and see the recording on the above. So a lot of good information, a lot of tips he gave out there as well. So let me see. Trying to get to the questions here. We got quite a bit. I'm going to cover them back to back. And if anybody has any questions, drop it on the comments on here. We'll cover your questions on there as well. We're already doing Q&A at this time, so we'll take care of that. All right. Well, I can't see myself on camera, but I'm pretty sure I'm playing on here. So all right. Well, it's not going to let me see it on that side. So let's get started. All right. What is the most important task and like I said, I'm jumping right on into, we have two paths to focus on, but what is the most important daily activity to be a successful home investor? What is the most important daily activity? I mean, all the activities are important, but you got to be doing your homework. So what is the most important is make sure you put them on a contract. That's for sure. And that's one thing is a lot of investors bring me these quotations deals that they want to jump on, but it turns out they don't even have them on a contract. If you can't even put them on a contract, there's no guarantee they will be there. So even if I give you the X amount, good information, you may miss out on the deal anyway. So put that on your contract. But next one, can a new investor be successful if there are already other mobile home investors in your area? That is a repetitive question that I get over and over, and that is more so, the mobile home industry now is getting too congested. It's becoming the next real estate thing. It is definitely growing. 7 years ago when I started, there was not that many investors out there. I don't, however, see other investors as competition. I believe there's enough deals, quotations to go around. Now, it's all about how you look at them. My coach would say some question like that would be, that's a question out of fear. That's not out of success. Because some of the investors that I do business with is some of the smoothest transactions because they know what I'm talking about. Mobile homes are still very alien, still very hidden side to real estate. A lot of people don't know. And when you're dealing with a real estate investor, for example, they may not know what you're talking about. It's just over their head kind of thing. So when you're dealing with another investor, they do. So look at them as somebody you can network and do deals with, not so much competition. What are your investing goals for this year? Well, it is the end of the year just about. I'm already thinking about 2023. That's where I'm focused on. Duplicate. That's what I'm doing is duplicating. I got to get X amount of investments ready. I keep saying now is the best time of the year to invest, and it's because 2023 is right around the corner. What does that mean? It means that a lot of people are about to have money. Okay, income tax time is right around the corner, so that's when people can pay cash. That's what you want. So, all right, next one. Should a new investor specialize or aim to help every seller? What is their main focus? I mean, every seller is good. Obviously, that's an opportunity for you all. Should you focus to help them all? I mean, if you can handle the above, I suppose, but focus on one, make sure you do 100% by them, and then go to two, then to three, and just kind of grow from that. That's what I would say to that. Are you involved in senior or family parks? Are you involved in senior or family parks? Family parks. I mean, both. Imagine by family parks, you mean all age, and by senior, you mean 55 and above, which is what we're seeing a lot more. There's actually a lot more 55 and above parks in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee than I was aware of. That's something you see a lot more down into California, New York, or Florida, where there's a lot of retirement like housing, mobile homes. But no, they're everywhere. In Atlanta, as a matter of fact, is getting ready to they are developing what was more so all age communities and turning it into 55 and above. So that's something we're going to see a growth spurt on that as well. Okay. But yes, I'm involved on all the above. All our mobile home park managers helpful or hurtful to your business? A park manager can make or break. And that's another question on my other pad that I'm going to answer on this one as well because it caught my attention. But are mobile home park managers helpful or hurtful? They can be one or the other. That is up to you. That's something. What kind of business relationship you build with them? Where I've seen park managers be against investors is where you try to go around them. If they have a set rule regulations that everybody has to abide, including investors, and you think that for some whatever reason you do not, that's where things may start shifting. So that's up to you. What does your average deal look like? This vague. That's too vague. I mean, depends. If it's a flip, if it's a wholesale, if it's something I'm moving, if it's too many things. What does my average deal look like? Successful. That's what it looks like. Okay. Next one. Do you like selling fixed homes for handyman specials? We sell all the above. We have so much inventory. We have so many mobile homes that come into our database through our funnels that we cannot handle all the rehabs at one time. We have almost 19 rehabs going right now. That's how many is going on at one time. Talk about making a job for yourself as a manager in a sense. Okay. I'm managing a lot of things at one time. But so therefore, we're able to offer a lot of the same investments that come in our funnel to investors or students of ours, as is, which we consider handyman specials or fixer uppers, whatever you want to call them. What is one of the strangest things happen to you while investing in mobile homes? I don't know. What is one of the strangest things that has happened to you while investing in mobile homes? I found success. I don't know. There's a lot of things. Okay. There's a real estate investor, Mr. Hunter. I won't say his last name, Mr. Hunter. And he owns the company. He's, in charge of everything, but does a whole lot of nothing, as he says. He says, I got a great team. And basically, I just handle making sure that everything is running up to par. But every time they get certain houses in certain areas, he likes to go visit them firsthand before anybody gets in there. And he says, I find the strangest things in the houses. One time I know he said he found a sword that was actually worth quite a few thousand. So some, valuable things that were left behind. But to me, the strangest things in mobile homes, I mean, I would say the clientele many times can be the strangest. So how long until you recoup all your investment money while selling? Again, it depends on what exit strategy you're thinking about. If it's a rental, you're going to take maybe a year before you get all your money back because it's a deposit and then it's a rental kind of thing. So you have to collect. If it's a flip, then obviously within 1 or 2 months, however long it takes to sell it. If it is a couple people on here trying to join. So if it's a flip and sell, no financing, that sort of thing. I mean, it just, depends. If you're financing to somebody, I would say the rule of thumb is always get all your money that you have into it on the down payment and then create payments after that. It's one way you can look at it. Okay. But again, I don't want to jump into that conclusion so quick because real estate is all about location, location, location. Mobile homes is timing, timing, timing. This time of year, it means where people have less money. It's the end of the year. People are a little more focused on Halloween, on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, New Year's Eve, etc. So they're not going to have as much money to put down or to buy something outright cash. Okay. If you could change one thing about your past investments, what would it be? Get more support. Okay, you get more support on the above. That's kind of the same question that goes hand in hand. If you had to start all over, what would you do differently? I always say get a coach or a mentor. I did what a lot of people think I did great. I think I did okay, but I remember spinning a lot of wheel, and a lot of that was because I didn't have the right guidance. So get the right guidance by your side. Okay, next one. What's your mobile home investing number one rule? Stand by your product. Okay, be for the people. A lot of these investors that I'm seeing, and I could be wrong, but just the way you speak and the way you talk about your investments, everything is money, money, money. How much am I going to make here? How much can I flip for that? What are the profits? And I hear very few people saying, well, I want to make sure that I can provide this type of housing for this people. I can provide these type of opportunities. Be for the people first, and then the money will come every time. What was your real estate history before mobile homes? None. Okay. I actually grew up in a mobile home. I knew how to live in a mobile home. I didn't know how to rehab. So everything I've done, I've had to learn from scratch on forward. So real estate wise, we've done a few real estate deals, but nothing that we can brag about. It's nothing huge. Of course, our niche is mobile homes, not real estate. So, well, what is something you learn with mobile home investing? What is something you've learned? Learn something every day. Okay. Have you done any bad deals? What made it negative? How did it end? Every day? No, not every day. One thing that a lot of investors don't like to talk about is bad deals, though. Everybody likes to talk about my success and I made this amount and I flipped it within this amount and it took no time. It's just like the good stories come out first, but the negative and the bad stories never come. And the bad stories are the ones that teach us the most. The deal that I failed is the one that taught me the most because I knew not to do it again. So yes, I've had deals that I embarked in. Now I made them all successful, but it meant me getting strategic and getting creative. So if you have X amount, let's say you're doing a flip. I originally invested in a mobile home to put X amount of money into it, and I was going to flip it. But then by the time we started getting into rehab, there was another issue and another issue. Maybe some delays. Maybe the city got involved. Maybe some permits were actually needed, et cetera, et cetera. Those numbers start climbing. Now you had a budget, which everybody should have, and your budget got broken because you kept investing, and then to a point where a good example is, let's say if you can sell a mobile home move-in ready for 20,000. If you can sell it for 20,000 on the market, but you have 15,000 all in too, is that a good deal at that point? I would probably say no, or maybe even closer to 20,000. So what I would say is let's go ahead and maybe rent it out for a couple of years and then try to sell it. It'll take you longer to recoup your money, but you will make a good profit. So get creative with that. Okay. What is your advice when looking for a payment partner? What is your advice when you're looking for a payment partner? I imagine that question is, what is your advice when looking for a JV partner? Maybe. I like the JV with people that actually know what they're doing. And I don't mean just in the sense of numbers, money, because a lot of them will approach it that way, but I want somebody who actually knows somewhat of mobile home investing. And I have some JV partners that I tell them, you need to jump on my coaching calls first. Let's make sure you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. Because if I invest with somebody who all they are is about money, they don't even know what a mobile home is, you may be running into some issues later down the line. So, things happen. And if you try to explain, they don't know what you're talking about. So you just may be making excuses. That's how they'll see you. So look for somebody in that sense. Have you done any deals? What made you negative? Okay. How much money is needed to start investing in mobile homes? That question is asked to me daily. How much money do you need to start investing in mobile homes? None if you're trying to be a bird dog wholesaler or a connector. Okay. You can do wholesaling with absolutely no money. Funny, that's a question actually, because Wednesday, we'll talk about this in the end, but on Wednesday, for members only, we have a double wholesale, and how to use other people's money. So we'll be covering that on Wednesday coaching call. Let's see, where do you see future mobile homes headed? That's the next question. So, um, affordability housing. Don't forget that affordability housing is needed everywhere. America has a serious shortage of housing, and when it comes to affordability housing, it is that much more and growing. Mobile homes aren't going anywhere. Mobile homes will continue to be the affordable housing anywhere you put them. So where do I see them? Growing. Times like recession, that's when we definitely see a boom in need of more mobile homes. So, they'll be there forever, I think. New mobile homes come around as well. So I always come across mobile homes without titles. I've heard not to mess with these. That's another one. So if you are having title issues, you definitely want to join. We have a call on November 30th where we're going to be talking about mobile home title solutions. And that's another question a lot of people were asking on my second pad. So I want to ask on that one as well here in a few minutes, but let me see the next one. So how do you secure lot rent at a set number? You can't. And I'm not seeing that a lot. Here's the thing with a lot of these new investors that are coming in. I know y'all hear a lot of these things that we do. We have been doing them for 7 years. For 7 years, we have been investing with a lot of these park owners, park investors. We didn't walk in somewhere and started demanding this and asking for that. I'm a true believer of you have to come in and prove yourself. Come in and prove yourself first, add value, and then you can start negotiating certain things. When it comes to trying to secure lot rent, I'll talk about that all the time because when I come into a park and they say, well, we'll allow you to invest, we can sell you X amount of mobile homes, but you have to keep them in the park for 5 years, 7 years. there's a gray area to the above. I mean, if it's on an agreement between you and the seller, the park owner, park manager, whoever it may be, then you have to abide by the above. Yes, they can't take you to court and it can become an issue. But at the same time, if I'm sitting there saying, yes, I will secure that the mobile home stay here for 5 years, 7 years, or however long you want, then how about you also negotiate with the lot rent? You have the lot rent set at 300. Why don't we keep it at 300 for the 5 years? Some will say yes, some will say no, some will say maybe we'll do it for a year, for 2 years. So it's all negotiation. We're trying to come in and keep a number at a set rate. Every park is different, so you just kind of work that out accordingly. Okay. What strategies do you suggest for new investors to start with, rentals or flips? I would say start with whichever one you want. I came in as a landlord. That's what I wanted to do. So I did not start as a wholesaler, bird dog, or those things come into later in the equation somewhere down the line. So I actually could not stand wholesale because I thought the documents were too hard to deal with. True story. But as far as you strategy wise, if you have money to invest, you could also buy them, rehab them, and flip them. Buy them, rehab them, and turn them into rentals. Wholesale them. Just depends on which one you think you are ready for, and it also depends on the level of expertise you have for mobile homes. So kind of keep that in mind. Okay. Let me see. You mentioned property management only when you can't keep up. Yes. So when should you use basically a property manager? We have just started our property management company at this time, and we have 3 parks that we're actually doing management for. That's not me, that's our team. I've got a great team and they're handling that. But as far as when should you, as an investor, have a property management manage your homes? I mean, you could do it with the very first one if you want. That's up to you. I'll suggest always do as many as you can. Part of investing in mobile homes is that you really need to figure out. Doesn't mean you have to do this forever. But if you start with every step and you kind of learn about it, you learn enough to where now later on you can hand it to somebody else, you will at least know what's going on. What you don't want to find yourself is that you get involved into some of these mobile homes and you're just doing everything from the side and letting somebody else handle it. You will never really know when something is bad, something is going wrong. I see that with park owners where they come into some money, there's something happened there, or maybe the parents own the park and they hand it down to the kids or the grandkids or whoever maybe. They don't know a thing about mobile home parks or mobile homes, and they just kind of run it to the ground. I hate to say it that way, but that's kind of what happens is they never did their homework, never studied on it. They just kind of thought, is what it is kind of thing and go with it. So learn as much as you can on that. Okay. Should you avoid dealing with mobile park managers? Should you avoid dealing with mobile home park managers and deal directly with owners? That is okay. So that's something to be careful about. If you walk into a mobile home park office and it is the owner that's operating the park, which that doesn't happen very often, but if it does, then you're obviously going to deal with the park owner directly. If you walk in and you deal with the manager, then that's kind of who you want to deal with. You never want to come into a park manager and say, "Hey, can I get a phone number or contact to your park owner?" One of the things that we typically see when investors do that is they're going to come back and say, "Well, no, I'm the manager. You deal with me," and that's off to a bad start because you're going to put them at question as to why are you trying to bypass them. So don't do that. But if you do enough investments in a community, in a park, and you stand out, you do what you say you're going to do, at one point that park manager is actually going to want to connect you with the park owner. Or they are going to be passing the information over to, hey, we got an investor working here. They're doing great. At one point or another, the park owner is going to want to reach out to you. So don't try to bypass that. Okay. Best way to get started. Now, that's what I got to say to that. When is the best way to get started? Now. Okay. But best way is learn as much as you can. Here I go again. You know, there are so many channels on YouTube that teach about mobile home investing now. I teach, coach, mentor people day to day, everyday people how to invest in mobile homes. We're doing this free coaching tonight. So, it's one of those things where 7 years ago, I didn't find videos on this. There was no videos that I could find. And it was more so kind of just go with it and figure it out. Y'all don't have to do that anymore. Before you get started, figure out why. Well, one is what is your why? But two, which exit strategy or what is it that you're trying to do with mobile home investing that you want to get into? Once you figure that out, then figure out the best way. And if you can, get a coach, get a mentor, get somebody by your side. Could just be maybe another investor that's already doing what you're trying to do. Follow their lead and just partner up with them the most that you can. Have somebody you can reach out to. Like I said, we have these coaches on here on Sunday. So, something you can come in and just ask us questions on that as well. All right, let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Let me see if there's any additional questions going on here. I don't see any. Instagram. Anything on Instagram I missed? All right. So I'm going to announce a couple things. You can ask a couple questions here in a few minutes as well, or just drop them on the comments. And I'm going to cover a couple things here real quick coming up available as well for coaching. So like I mentioned, on Saturday, which was yesterday morning at 10 a.m., we had Ed O'Brickman, who develops RV campsites. Okay, that's definitely something to add on to your do list if that's something you're trying to get into, trying to learn. And as part of manufactured housing, they kind of go hand in hand. It's a little different concept, but they're side by side on the above. Something, if nothing more, to look into. November 30th. Okay, I cannot stress that enough for you park owners, park managers, realtors, brokers, investors, both real estate and mobile home investors. Come and learn about title solutions. This is the call. This is the question that I get repetitively asked over and over is I can't close on this deal on this mobile home because I don't have a title. I can't get a loan. I can't sell it. I can't move it. I understand all the above because we've struggled many, many years with the above. Yes. And these cities, these counties, here's the thing. When you start seeing a lot more investments of any kind or anything getting a little more highlights, which is what mobile homes are now, with so many investors, so many wholesalers, so many flippers, now the city counties, they have eyes on mobile homes. They understand that a lot of people are investing in mobile homes. So the focus have shifted over into that, which means that it gets a lot more strict. Before, we used to be able to do a lot of things with the bill of sale. We used to be able to move them and just register them. It just depends on the states, the cities. That's not the case anymore. Right now, it is basically if you're trying to move a mobile home, for instance, from one county to the next, the county that it is living from, they don't care so much. But the county where it is going into, they're going to want to see the proper documentation there. And number one being the title. If you don't have a title, well, we're not even going to move any more forward. Bring us the title, and then we'll see how we can register it, et cetera, et cetera. We've had brokers that call us talk about, well, we would have done a deal on a certain mobile home that was on a piece of land, but we didn't have a title. We didn't know about the VIN verification. We didn't know about this or that. And therefore, we just kind of passed up on the deal. That's thousands that left on the table because of one simple thing, the title. All the above, we're going to be teaching on November 30th. We've had a lot more level ups. The level ups are like real estate RIAs, where we meet in small group settings, and it's about serious investors coming in, joining, networking, get to know each other. So those have been great as well, and we'll continue the above. But this one is going to be back on Zoom, okay, back on 2D, where we're going to do a virtual coaching. It's going to be at the comfort of your home. Bisitha, I think I put it on here on the chat as well. If not, let me see. I'll put it here in a few minutes. But check it out on that as well. You want to, let me go and drop it on the comments. Give me 1 second, because I want you to make sure you check out on that. And like I said, if you know anybody, especially anybody struggling to get a mobile home sale done or to purchase, and you know they're struggling, forward on the link on that as well. Tuesday, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. EST time, both Zoom, Instagram, and TikTok, we're live, and we're presenting the best off-market mobile home deals. If you have a deal to pitch, bring it on there. If you have a mobile home to sell, bring it on there. If you have a mobile home you want to buy, come on there. Okay, simple as that. Wednesdays, as I was mentioning earlier, some of this wholesale questions. The members only, GMHU members only. You can join on that by going to GarciaMHU.com. And you can join our members, which is the coaching call is similar to this, but it's a lot more in length. It's about an hour long, and we go step by step and deep dive into the above. So it's not as quickly as this one. I get 30 minutes on Sundays to do this. There's only so much I can cover in 30 minutes, but we try to give you the most value. Okay. So join us on that. This Wednesday coming up, we have wholesale, double wholesale, and how to use OPM, other people's money. That's a beautiful exit strategy to use. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like to take money out of my pocket. Not if I can use somebody else's money. We'll coach you on that on Wednesday. So definitely join us on that. Now, here is another announcement for Sundays, Tuesdays. Sunday is coaching at 8 p.m. Tuesday is Let's Do Deals. That's where we pitch mobile home deals on at 7 p.m. And Saturday is the weekly check-in call, which is at 10 a.m. Live on Instagram. All these calls are now being shifted into they're going to be all Instagram. So we are not going to be doing Zoom any longer. That we'll be recording on here so that we can keep replaying on Instagram, all over social medias, and of course YouTube, where we send it off immediately. But for instance, on Tuesday, if Tuesdays anybody has a deal to pitch, they will have to email us directly, send us the information, we'll verify it, make sure it checks out, and then you can come live on with us on Zoom. But aside from that, we are venturing away from Zoom at this time. We've had quite a bit of issues letting people log in. Zoom can't answer questions. we're not going to be dealing with this any further. Everybody deserves to get on these calls, especially the free ones. So therefore, you can join us on Zoom. On Instagram. So used to saying Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. No more Zoom. Forget about Zoom. We're going live on Instagram, live on TikTok, and I say January, we should be going live on LinkedIn as well. So we're looking at a few other things, and we have gone live on YouTube directly. But again, we share these calls so you can always catch up on the above. So for those of you that missed it, definitely join all Sundays at YouTube's, and you can check out the Sunday coachings for that. Let me see if any other coachings we have next month after November. I'm saying November. I'm already seeing we got one more day in October. So December, we're thinking about visiting either. Here's where the level ups come up, and we'll be advertising all this on all social media. But the Ed O'Brigman really caught our attention. I think he's doing phenomenal down in one of his communities, which is located in Mobile, Alabama. We're thinking about doing a live level up event out there where we're going to walk and see his operation. How would some of you who are trying to get into this type of business like to see somebody who is currently doing it, talking about it, right? That's where you learn. That's where you get your real tips, nuggets, and education. So we're thinking about doing that or going back to Florida. Keep up with our social media, GarciaMHU.com. We'll definitely say keep you update on the above. But for now, that's all that I have. So that does my 30 minutes for Sunday coaching series. I got one more call after this, and then it is homework time. Yes, we all got homework, deals, inventory. I got to look into some of this, a lot of stuff coming up. So we will be in South Carolina Thursday. So we'll be looking at stay tuned for that one. I'll leave that one for another call. All right. Well, thank you all for joining me this evening. Catch the replay on YouTube. It should be on the first thing in the morning. Thank you for watching.